Hey everyone, Alyssa here from the design team. I have a very fun folio for you this evening. I got this design off of YouTube. Her website or username is Let's Get Scrappy. She used it mostly for like Christmas and a gift card holder. I am mostly want to use it as a like a photo album. So all you're going to need is a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and you're going to score it um, at 3 and 9, and then rotate it and do 4 and 8. But then you're going to um, only score the middle to give us like that gap. And that's what I was showing you there. You're going to then cut up each of the sides. So you have these nice little flaps. And I will put measurements in a blog post for you guys. Um, this is where it gets a little tricky. It's not going to be like a perfect 3 by 4 because you're going to want to cut it so that it folds into each other nicely. Um, so I had to trim a little bit, as you'll see here, just to get it perfectly. And this is my template right here that I'm making. I do have a better one that I'm going to show you in a minute that is going to be our actual card. And here it is. So it folds down, and now you can see that that's the 12 by 12 paper. So I am mostly focusing on the house in a hillside die, and you'll see here that this is the hillside, and I'm using distress oxide to blend all of the images together. In retrospect, I probably should have colored paper and then did all my die cutting, but this worked, as you can see. And I will list all of my distress oxide inks in a blog post as well. So you'll get the measurements and the inks and everything that I used. This is an older Kindred stencil, but I thought it added a lot of texture to our little house. And please do not mind, my camera likes to tilt. You will see it kind of just have a mind of its own in a little bit here. So I'm just coloring up our windows and the little, I guess, window seals, I guess is what the term would be. I wanted to call them shutters, but they're not shutters. But yeah, little window seals. And then here's our little door frame. And then I use Uncharted Mariner for this, but I had so much left over on my sponge, I didn't bring out the ink pad. Here's a little chimney and the little attachment, and now we're going to go ahead and build the house. We're going to put all the fun little thingies on top of the house. Now I'm just lining up the roof right now. And then we're going to go ahead and grab, I think, our windows. Yeah. And you can use any like picker upper tool, anything that has like that sticky end on it. It definitely came in handy with these little itty bitty pieces. Let me tell you. So we're just gonna glue all this fun stuff together. I really had fun creating with this die and choosing these colors. Oh, and you may have got a glimpse of my Stella Bella. My cats love to join me for craft time. They normally take up most of the table, but I craft in front of a window, so they love to go and sit on the desk and look out the window. I actually have my Betty next to me who is looking at me weirdly as I talk into a microphone. My Betty is a tuxedo cat, and my Stella Bella is like a peaches and cream. All right, now let's attach our fun little chimney here. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments, or you can always reach out to me in the fan club. I'm more than happy to answer any kind of questions. All right. The best way that you can tell that the house will sit on the hillside is that little notch at the bottom. That is the best way to do it. Here I'm just you see my camera keeps tilting. Gotta love technology and the equipment. But here we're gonna add the smoke. Okay, now we're gonna work on our little panels on the that will go on the inside of the folio, like those little flaps that we made. This is what I am working on now. I wanted to leave this in because I actually end up not liking how this turns out. So, but I kind of wanted to show you like my trial and error here and see what you guys think. But yeah, I ended up not liking how this actually turned out. So I'm just going to flip it over in a minute here and then yep, just kind of start. We're just going to do a basic blend. That is a Kindred Stamp stencil, by the way. Yep, here just was like, nope, not for me, not liking that vibe. Love that when you try to blend the green, the Twisted Citron, it definitely made the sky a little green, so that's always fun. uh oh, this one I wanted to use for the main like bad guy. And I was starting out to just kind of like make the Lost Shadow just in the center, but I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and just make it all over, and then I'll come in and I wanted to like create this kind of oval shape um to make it kind of, I don't know, I don't know, make it look cool, to focus. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. um Here I use Lost Shadow on a lot of these panels. It's really cool. This stencil I wanted to use for one of the little um elf characters. I just thought it was really pretty. And I think this is an older Kindred Stamp stencil as well. I always like that reveal part. Oh, like what are we gonna get? Oh, I'm going in here and just adding Linkastella to each of the little stars just to make it more glittery. Oh, this one, I believe I used weathered wood, and I'm trying to make it look like stone because there's this one scene in the movie where they have to go like underground and they get stuck at this nice little stone entryway. So I kind of wanted to recreate that. And I'm just going over um oh, it's there, Stella again, with the like a fine line kind of pen. It's the Copic one. I can't remember what, I think it might be 0.5. Okay, so this one, if you know, you know, hopefully if you're a fan of this fandom, well, hey, Stell, you will understand what this is going to represent without me actually having to say it. But I did use like the spooky tree die from Kindred Stamps to kind of create the vibe I was going for and just giving the tree a little bit of color so it's not completely all white. But yeah, it'll just go in that little background. So, like I said, if you know, you know, hopefully, what this represents. Hopefully, you'll be able to kind of see all the little different scenes that I'm kind of imagining here in my head. Hopefully, they come across to you guys. Oh, look, messy craft desk. Oh, here are the fun stones that go with the die set as well. And then there's a background that I made, and we're going to go ahead and attach the house on a hillside to this background. We're going to add the trees. This is going to be the main focus of our folio. It'll definitely go on the front of it. And that's just a simple background too. I did, I think, have a more elaborate background, but it just looked too much. So I just went back and was like, okay, let's just do basic. So here are those stones that we just colored up. And I'm just going to place them kind of like along the front where I think the front of the house would be. So like right in front of the door there. I'm just going to make it a little mini walkway kind of to come out. Tweezers, pick up little sticky thingamajigs, and that glue. Oh, I don't know. Those things are kind of lifesavers in the craft room. The reverse tweezers, I should say. And this is just like a dark blue cardstock that I have in my stash. I'm going to cut off that little piece of stone that was hanging over, and we're going to attach it here. And I really like how that turned out. Okay, we're going to go back and make another background. This one is whenever they get stuck in that cave really, really close to the dark place where the one little character guides them to. So I use the Kindred stamps, the spider web die to kind of represent this person's lair. So I think that's really cool how that turned out. And that person who lured them there is definitely going in that lair. Just adding some black soot just to give it a little more darkness because that cave is definitely dark. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and start putting pieces together. I'm just gluing all those little panels onto another, like what'd you call it? Outline mat. A mat. That's the word I'm looking for. Most of, I should say not most, all of the ones that are like the dark ones are going on a black, just cardstock that was in my stash. And then the other one are just kind of a green and a blue that I have in my stash. You know, just trying to use up what we got instead of buying more, even though I know I always buy more. I do end up having to trim some of these little plant panels down just a little bit to fit on our pages here. So this is me just kind of getting a feel, figuring out where I want to place some things. Do I want all the dark and creepy stuff on the inside? Yeah. So this is just where you're gonna have to wanna measure what size you ended up trimming down your little panels to, because I definitely, like I said, had to trim down so that they could fit properly, and you don't want it to go over the edge there. Oh, this is supposed to be a gift card holder, so I just wanted to make sure that that was in there, and that's what I kind of had on my table at the time. Okay, so I put all the panels down, and now we're going to go ahead and add those characters. I do have a color video of my favorite character from Size Doesn't Matter, but this video I thought was getting a little long, so I think I'm going to go ahead and post it as a second video, so you can probably look for that on my actual page. But yeah, I really had fun coloring up all these characters and cutting them out. This is like one of my favorite trilogies, so I'm so excited that I was able to come up with this little idea. And also I want to mention that the in the beginning I said it was a photo folio, so like the spaces that I'm leaving blank, they're going to be for, a picture or a journal, whichever you would like. You can add or take away whatever you would like. Yeah. These little guys at the bottom, I'm only gluing them half down, so that way if you wanted to tuck a picture or something in there, you could do so. So that way it stays open like that. And I do the same for the two up top as well. And this is like for journaling. This is going to go in the middle. I actually went to like a fun little like brunch that was this themed, and we all got little cute ears, and it was so much fun. We got little lollipops. I absolutely love these movies. It brings back so much memories for me. So if when you watch the video on YouTube of the girl who did it originally, Let's Get Scrappy, she uses ribbon to close this, but I thought it would be cool to use a magnet. I probably should have put a magnet in each of the corners, but we learn as we go. So I would probably suggest putting, if you would like to, you could do a ribbon closure, or you can totally put two magnets on each of the ends, and I feel like it would, I think, lay a little better. So now I'm just adding the cardstock over top of the magnet, so it kind of hides them. And now we are totally going to add our little house in the hillside on the front. And I'm going to add the little journey guy who started this all there as well. He's going to sit on the front. All right, I do end up adding a sentiment. I use the embossing ink and the Snowball embossing powder, so you'll see that at the end. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please enjoy these stills, and I will see you guys next time. Happy stamping!